Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Astro Channel Online. I'm Dura, yours Astrology. Today we are going to talk about Hamsa Yoga. The first letter is not pronounced, not Hamsa Yoga, but Hamsa Yoga. In astrology, Yoga means combinations. We all look different or look like same kind of a personality. That's because of the way we are built, the way we are built in nature. And that can be seen and explored by means of combinations among planets in different signs, in different zodiac signs in our horoscope. There are tons of yogas. For example, lunar yoga, solar yoga, celestial yogas, and what we call the wealth-giving Dhana yoga, something like that. Among countless yogas, a few yogas are well known because of their good results, good outcomes to the natives. For example, Lunar's ultimate yoga, or 5 mega personality yoga, wealth-giving Dhana yogas, they are all good. They give us, they yield positive, good results. At the same time, on the other hand, there are some yogas we don't want them. For example, hardship yoga, which is nothing but an adverse yoga. We don't want that kind of a negative effect results. Today, we want to talk about a wonderful yoga. It's a good one, Hamsa yoga, which is one of the Pancha Maha Purusha yoga. We can call this one as Jupiter's ultimate yoga, the one of the 5 mega-swelling personality yoga. Varahamihara, a famous ancient astronomer as well as astrologer, who extolled, revealed these 5 remarkable yogas, these great combinations in his famous work, Brihad Samhita. These 5 yogas are Hamsa yoga, Malavya yoga, Sasa yoga. In some books it's called as Sasa yoga, Ruchaha yoga, Bhadra yoga. Here, the Hamsa yoga is caused by Jupiter's effect. So we can call this one as Jupiter's utmost yoga or ultimate yoga. Similarly, the Malavya yoga is due to the Venus effect. Now, let's talk about Hamsa yoga in detail. The definition goes like this. Jupiter should be in a Kendra. That means Jupiter should occupy a Kendra from Ascendant. And that Kendra must be his own house or his house of exaltation. Where is his own house? And his house of exaltation. That's what we are going to see today. Now, that means for the Hamsa yoga to be caused, 2 important conditions to be fulfilled. Okay, let's say this Hamsa yoga is formed in a horoscope. And what will be the result looks like? The outcomes look like. The person who is blessed with this yoga, whose legs will have the marking of conch, lotus, fish, and ankusa, something like that. And that person will be an admirable personality, respected, loved, and even followed by many people. Why? Because they are pure in mind. And not only that, they are righteous in action. And apart from that, they are also blessed with good fortunes, abundant fortunes, prosperity, and power as well. And those people, those who are blessed with this beautiful Hamsa Yoga, they will gain good name and fame in any field, whatever may be the field they choose. It could be religion or education, or even it could be sports, or even any field. They are going to be very famous. Such a beautiful yoga. That means combination. So, in order to cause this yoga, there must be two important mandatory conditions. Important conditions. They need to be fulfilled. They are: 1. The Jupiter should be seen only either in Cancer here, or in Sagittarius, or in Pisces. This is the 3 locations. If Jupiter is placed in Aries here, it's not going to cause this yoga. Either Jupiter should be here in Cancer, or here in Sagittarius, or in Pisces. And not only that, and these 3 locations, 1 Pisces, 2 Cancer, 3 Sagittarius. And these 3 places, 3 signs must be in Kendra. That is very important. That means must be the 1st or 4th or 7th or 10th signs from the Ascendant. That means from Lagna. That is very, very important. So that means what? All signs, all houses. That means all people are not, unfortunately, blessed with this yoga. Why? Because let's say Taurus. Jupiter can be either here in Cancer, or in Sagittarius, or in Pisces. Pisces is the 12th house, and Cancer is the 3rd sign from the Taurus, 1, 2, 3, and the Sagittarius, which is the 8th house. So 12th house or 3rd house, 8th house. The condition number 2 is not fulfilled. Cancer or Sagittarius, Pisces, in which Jupiter may be placed, but these 3 houses must be in Kendra. That means 1st or 4th or 7th or 10th signs from what we call the Ascendant. So that means, unfortunately, all signs are not blessed with. For example, the Taurus or Leo, and here Scorpio and Aquarius. They are called as fixed sign, and they are not blessed with this yoga. Let's take for Aries. Aries is here. So for Aries, Jupiter may be placed here because 1, 2, 3, 4th place. So 4th place is nothing but a Kendra. 1st place, 4th place, 7th sign, and 10th sign. And these 4 signs are called from the Lagna. That means from the Ascendant. They are called as what we call Kendra. So if Jupiter is here, and which is the 4th sign from the Ascendant, Aries, so this will cause this Hamsa Yoga. What about Jupiter can also be placed here in Sagittarius, because which is his own house, and also can be here, which is Pisces, also is his own house. And this house, Cancer, is the house of his exaltation. That means here Jupiter is exalted. That means it attains the maximum power. The magnitude of its power is here maximum, more than Sagittarius, and also the power here is more than in Pisces. both Pisces and Sagittarius, they are his own house. For Jupiter's, these two houses are one house, and this is the house of Moon. This is Moon's own house, but still here Jupiter is highly exalted. Now let's take an example, one more example. Cancer. The Cancer is here, so Jupiter can be here placed, because which is the first place. In first place, first Kendra, Jupiter can be here. And moreover, this is the Ascendant, the Lagna. So Cancer, the Lagna Cancer is blessed with this Yoga. And what about Libra? The Libra is here. It must be here. So Jupiter can be placed either here or here. So if Jupiter is placed here in Sagittarius or Pisces, and this is the what we call the third house, and which is the sixth house. So that means it's not the first one or fourth one, seventh one or 10th one. So the only possibility for Libra to have this Yoga is Jupiter must be placed here. That's the thing. Now let's see for Gemini. For Gemini, Jupiter can be here or here, because both signs are his own house. Here, this is what? Sagittarius. Here, this is called as Jupiter's Trikonas, the triangular house, Mula Trikona, with triangular house. And which is here, in which Jupiter attains more power than this house. But here, the maximum power in Cancer. So for Gemini, Jupiter can be here or here. What about, let's take one more example for Virgo. For Virgo, the Virgo is here, right? So Virgo also has two possibilities for the placement of Jupiter. Either Jupiter can be here or Jupiter could be here in this place. So suppose Jupiter is here for Virgo, which is here, that is the 7th quadrant. If it is here, that is the 4th quadrant. At the same time, Jupiter is in his own house. This also one house. Let's take for Capricorn. Capricorn is here. So that means Jupiter cannot be here or here, because this is the 12th house and this one is the 3rd house. But Jupiter can be disposed here, placed here, because which is the 7th quadrant from this one, Capricorn. This is Cancer. So Capricorn is blessed with this Yoga. This is the chart for Sagittarius. So Sagittarius also two possibilities. For example, Jupiter could be placed here or Jupiter can occupy the Ascendant. So this is Sagittarius, the Ascendant, and for example, the Ascendant Sagittarius Lagna. So this is the 4th quadrant, this is the 1st quadrant. So Ascendant Sagittarius has two possible places for this Yoga to cause. What about Pisces? Pisces here. So for Pisces also, Jupiter can be here or here. This is the 1st quadrant and this is the 10th quadrant. Usually 10th quadrant is the powerful, the most powerful quadrant. That means the magnitude of Hamsa Yoga will be more effective, dominant, stronger. The 10th quadrant is the most powerful quadrant, then the 7th quadrant, and the 7th quadrant is more powerful than the 4th quadrant, something like that. So if Pisces is the ascendant, if Jupiter is placed here, which is the 10th quadrant, so a person blessed with this kind of a combination, provided if Jupiter is not affected, if the overall theme of a horoscope is good one, positive, then Pisces, the person with Pisces sign, will have a good life, greater life, very fortunate life. Let's say, sometimes you may ask me a question. Hey, I have this yoga in my chart, but I don't get any benefit of it. That means your astrology is wrong. No, that's not wrong. A chart may be gifted, blessed, endorsed with this yoga, but we must study, scan the overall theme of a horoscope, especially the overall vectorial theme of a horoscope. That's very important. That means the major period of Jupiter, and where is Jupiter placed, and whether the Jupiter is aspected by a benefic planet or malefic planet. So we should see all those things, the conjunctions, aspects, placements, its star, and also its period of activation, all those things. Sometimes, for example, look here in this chart, the ascendant is what we call here Aries, Jupiter is placed here, and Moon also in its own house, and here Mars also here, look, the 10th quadrant. Usually Mars gets the magnitude of its big power, greatest strength, when Mars is placed, when Mars occupies the 10th sign. So the Lagnadhipati, that means the Lord of Ascendant here in the 10th house, naturally is very powerful and also aspected by Jupiter and Moon. So naturally this is a powerful Jupiter's ultimate yoga. Jupiter's, I mean the Hamsa yoga. But what we call here, Jupiter is placed along with Saturn and Rahu. These two planets, Rahu is here highly affected because of Saturn's presence. That means Jupiter is also very much infected. So here you cannot see the expected results of this yoga, because the yoga is diluted by the presence of what we call malefic planets. So we must see all those things. So anytime when you explore the combinations and their benefits, we must make sure that we see the overall theme of a horoscope. That is very important. Let's see, for example, here a powerful Hamsa yoga is given. Why it is powerful Hamsa yoga? Because you see, there are several good combinations are here. The Sun is in Aries. Usually Sun is exalted. When it is in Aries, Sun attains its maximum power. Moreover, it is in Lagna, that means in Ascendant. And Jupiter also here exalted, and Mars also exalted, because Mars is not only exalted, it is also in the 10th quadrant. It is exalted as well as in the 10th quadrant, very powerful quadrant. And Mars is aspected by Jupiter. That means what? It is yielding one more yoga, Guru Mangala yoga. That means Jupiter's martial yoga. And also Mars is also aspected by Moon, and Moon is aspected by Mars. So mutually, that means creating one more yoga, which is called as Chandra Mangala yoga. That means Lunar's martial yoga. So Lunar's martial yoga is here, Jupiter's martial yoga is here, and also Sun is exalted, Mars is exalted. Obviously, it is a powerful yoga. A person gifted with this yoga will be will be blessed with a highly commanding position in government through politics, as long as the overall horoscope is supportive for the horoscopes. The overall horoscopes, that means the nature of the other planets. Here, planets means not the real planet, what we think about it. In a horoscope, you should not think that planet means it's really we are talking about the planet. It's the aspect of planets, the what we call the influence of the planet. For example, Sun is not a planet, but we say in astrology, Sun as a planet. That means, but at the same time, you must note that Sun is a semi-benefic. That means half good planet. Why it's called as semi-benefic? Because Sun is actually representing our planet. Our planet Earth is actually only one side is always illuminated by the sunlight. The other side is always dark. That's why, which is the light is what only on the half of the surface of the planet. So that's why Sun is called as semi-benefic. 50% Sun is a good planet. Because we cannot place the Earth here to predict what we call the influence of the planets, the influence of the celestial influence, to predict the terrestrial events based on the celestial influence. We need to keep Sun here. So we call Sun as a planet and Moon as a planet, but it's not really the planet, only their effects. So we will discuss about all those things in a separate video, because otherwise the video will be lengthy. Okay, so here we see different combinations, and that means different yogas. All are powerful yogas. So it is a powerful Hamsa yoga. So like this, for example, let's take here, the Ascendant is here, Sagittarius, Jupiter is placed here, and the Mars is here. You see, the Mars is aspected by Jupiter. That means Guru Mangala Yoga is also cast, apart from what we call Hamsa Yoga. And also the Moon is what we call Moon and the Mars. They are mutually aspecting each other. So that means Chandra Mangala Yoga, Lunar's martial yoga. So if there are many more yogas, more good combinations in a chart, that means it is going to enhance, boost the power of yogas, and that will give a greater good results to a particular that native. Sometimes you see, I told you, yogas are diluted or infected and becomes weak. Why? Because presence of a malefic planet like Rahu. Rahu is nothing but it's a shadow of a moon during the daytime, and Ketu is the shadow of our planet, which affects the moon. So we call Rahu and Ketu. So those things we can see in my future videos. So suppose Rahu is placed here, which is a malefic Rahu. Why? Because which is aspected by Saturn, and Ketu also affected by Saturn. So naturally the Jupiter's power is here reduced. So that's why we need to estimate, calculate the overall theme of a horoscope. So sometimes if Rahu is infecting or with Jupiter's, that kind of, now the Hamsa Yoga will be negatives. A person who is blessed with, who is given this kind of yoga, will use the abilities that is gifted by Jupiter's for a wrong purpose, selfish motives. So we can identify those things by means of whether the Jupiter is affected or not. What about here? Sometimes same Rahu, when it is placed with Jupiter's or aspected by Jupiter's, if the Rahu sometimes can act like a benefic, good planet, sometimes malefic, bad planets. Depends upon its association. That's why we need to see all the time the association of planets and also the nature of the signs in which they are placed, disposed. Here, Venus is present in Capricorn, so Ketu becomes a good planet now, and Rahu is aspected by Jupiter, Venus. Venus is one of the natural benefits. It's good. So Venus effect is good. It causes good fortune for us, positive results mostly. So when Rahu is aspected by Venus, it becomes a malefic planet. That means, benefic planets. So this benefic Rahu is placed with Jupiter. That means here the Jupiter's yoga, that means the Hamsa yoga, is enhanced, boosted, stimulated because of the presence of this Rahu, benefic Rahu here, due to the aspect of Venus. So here the person, the native, who is gifted with this benefic Rahu and benefic Ketu along with Jupiter's, and such a person will be excelling, will be famous in any field. Could be science or business or spiritualisms, even astrology, and any field, whatever may be the field they choose. So similarly, that's what we need to check. We need to see whether the Jupiter is affected by a malefic planets or boosted by a benefic planet. So what matters the most is the overall, the vectorial theme of a horoscope. That's very important because that can change everything. We may see what we call this wonderful yoga in a chart, but the effect is negative, or there may not be no outcomes as expected because of the overall theme of a horoscope. That means it is because of the strength of the Jupiter, the placement of other, what we call planets, and also the major period, its time. We cannot harvest anything the day we sow. The day we plant something, we cannot harvest the fruit on the same day. There is a time for everything, maturity time, like that. The Jupiter's time, the major period is 16 years. It must come. So always it is important for us to evaluate the overall vectorial theme of a horoscope. Sometimes in a chart, the Hamsa yoga may be blessed with, along with 2 or 3 or 4 more yogas. So we must estimate whether the educational aspect or diplomatic adventurous aspect is dominant. Which one is stronger? Which one is more powerful? For example, if diplomatic adventurous aspect of a horoscope, the overall theme of a horoscope is stronger, then what will happen? The person may attain a ministerial position through politics. Sometimes creative aspect may be stronger, so a person will become popular in cine field or in writing field, and in future maybe in politics also. So what matters the most is the overall theme of a horoscope. That is very important. So we need to check all those things, the duration of the major period, and also the nature of the planets, all those things. That's why, some people always says, I'm not getting, so this astrological prediction is wrong because astrologist told me that I have this kind of yoga, but nothing is good happening to me. Because, the Jupiter's major period, that varies from person to person. It depends on the time of birth of a native, the person's. Jupiter's major period is actually 16 years. It must come during the right age. It's not good come during as soon as we are born. Or some people, unfortunately, they need to wait more than 60 years, 70 years, 80 years to experience this beautiful yoga. That is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate, because what is the use of this yoga during that age, at that stage? They might not push the boat out of this yoga. So this yoga must be blessed in the right time, around 25 years. When we attain 25 years, 25 plus years, that is good for us. Sometimes people may ask, hey, there is one rule. When Jupiter is placed in quadrant, and that will cause evil effects. That's called as sin of quadrangular ownership. That means, which is called as Kendra adhipatya dosa. Naturally, for all natural benefits like sending moon, Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter, they are natural benefits. When these natural benefits are placed in Kendra, the first place or fourth place, seventh place, 10th place from the Lagna, they will produce, they will generate evil, unwanted, and desirables, bad results. So you are saying here, Jupiter must be placed in the quadrant. What about then the sin of quadrangular ownership, Kendra adhipatya dosams? There is always rules for certain yogas, definition for certain yogas. At the same time, there is a guideline for exemptions. So when benefics are destined, placed to cause a greater yoga, here Jupiter is placed for a good cause, for good karma, that is to produce what we call Hamsa yoga. When Jupiter is there for Hamsa yoga, the general principle loses its significance. That guidelines for that quadrangular, sin of quadrangular ownership can be forgotten here. Because here Jupiter is to cause the ultimate yoga. So that means what? When Jupiter is there in a chart, in a horoscope, to produce this Hamsa yoga, and that effect, evil effect, due to the sin of quadrangular ownership, the Kendra adhipatya dosams, can be forgotten. That means it cannot produce any kind of undesirables, negative results to the native. Now, yes, now we have come to the conclusion of Hamsa Yoga today. Thanks for watching and subscribing. For more immediate updates are on their way. I want to bring to the kind notice of my viewers here. You see this chart, horoscope. I have the written permission from the native of this horoscope to explore all the important astro combinations. That means yogas in this chart. Actually, this chart was studied by some people before, and the owner, the native of this horoscope, he told me that they told him, it seems that the person, this native, would lead a very hard life, miserable life. He sometimes has to encounter adverse effect, lots of adverse effect, so that he will lead even very poverty condition, because the 10th Lord here, Mars, the 10th Lord, because the Ascendant is here, the 10th Lord and also the 5th Lord is hidden, is in the black hole, in the 6th house, in the dark house, a house of evil. That's why the persons will have an adverse effect, something like that. But to my surprise, when I explore this chart, I have discovered, identified 51 important beautiful combinations. That means 51 beautiful yogas. They could cause him a lot of blessings. He accepted. He is actually leading a beautiful life, a wonderful life, a rich life. I've been writing an astro book based on these 51 important yogas discovered in these charts in order to reveal several nature truths in astrology. It's actually not an ordinary task. Really an outstanding astral scanning expertise is required, needed to investigate the overall vectorial theme of a horoscope. The greater the number of combinations identified, the better will be its diagnosis with a greater predictive power, so that we can provide the native with the necessary right guidance. Could be for education or employments, career guidance or business guidance, something like that. And not only that, even for matching compatible life partners, or even to find and to keep a noble lifelong good friends. So if you are interested to know all the important beautiful astro combinations in your chart, or for any educational or career guidance based on your chart, you are always very welcome to send your horoscopes via astroquery@gmail.com. It's shown here, two similar Gmail ID. Here one is C, here one is Q, both pronounced the same. So you could send via this one, or this one, they come to me, astroquery@gmail.com. Or you may reach us at this number in the USA or this number in India. Depending upon the number of yogas identified here, especially powerful and blessed yogas combinations identified here, there will be a minimum charge. Thanks for watching once again. Thanks in advance for subscribing. Blessings be. Have a beautiful day.